Against this right back, Charlie's definitely.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Big up you lot across YouTube and Twitch. Arsenal fans, I know we're on a bit of a downer, but we have our lives, don't we, man? You know, as long as we've got our health, that's the main thing. It would help if Arsenal were to help us a bit. It's already a difficult task trying to win the Premier League trophy, and it doesn't help when we consistently shoot ourselves in the foot, people. Again, I know it's my job as a content creator to provide you lot with entertainment, but I think it's a double-edged sword in that it allows me to get my thoughts off, and please allow me a period for this. The first thing I'm going to say, I think we need to break everything down, or I feel I need to break everything down. I'm going to start with Mikel Arteta. Now, Arteta is not good enough, man. I'm not going to lie, it's not good enough. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the script too many times. Low block, stick to the script. The other team is difficult to break down. Low blocks, we find it difficult to break down. We've got no answers for it. And again, I was thinking about this earlier, yeah. Obviously, Arsenal, we're known, whatever people say, for mid blocks, low blocks, deep blocks. We can, I actually like that in isolation. We stink up the place. You cannot break us down to certain degrees, generally throughout a season. So we should know how to exploit a mid or low block realistically, if I'm honest with you. And I know it's easier said than done, but like what's on brand with half of the things that we've suffered this season, we didn't go into this season knowing that wasn't an issue. I've seen it against Newcastle, seen it against Graham Potter, seen it against Fulham last year. Any team that is half decent defensively, rigid and compact, we struggle. Naturally, West Ham went with a back five because they know we're going to cross the ball. Moreno, obsolete in that regards. It worked against Leicester. It did not work against West Ham. It's too romantic. Mikel Arteta, there is no plan B. There is no reaction where it comes to, you know, in-game management where we need something different. So yeah, I'd say that with the manager. And again, the players, man, the players as well. Like Mikel Arteta, you've got your own problems, but the players, man, everybody's in this. The players, you're not performing and playing like a team that's in last chance saloon. It's essentially kill or die. You know you need to win all your games to have any task of the impossible / the improbable against Liverpool. There's too many cheap mistakes. People are not following runners. Bowen almost scored just before he actually bagged. It was almost an identical run from the right-hand side with Wan-Bissaka. And I think he actually kicked it wide. You're letting one of the most lethal players outside of the top six go unmarked. Gabriel's not good enough. Partey's not good enough. Calafiori's not good enough. Even if you go and look at it, David, right? The whole team. I'm not here to drop players into it. Odegaard as well. You know, all 10 of our outfield players are, you know, in sixes and sevens. It's not good enough. Like it really isn't. It really isn't good enough, man. 10 of our outfield players, or the 10 outfield players, were all within 30 yards of Areola's goal. Credit to West Ham. It was a street smart performance. They were compact. They were rigid. They know we're going to go side to side. We've got no answers for that. They did that and kept it moving. Counter-attack, got the goal, kept it moving. And even in that regards, really and truly, up until, well, it probably took about an hour to really create something of significance. I dare I say, West Ham actually had the better chances. It's a street smart performance. This team has run out of steam. The injuries, the lack of signings, all of it has come to a head. You know, the results like that do not happen overnight. That is a culmination of what we've been doing. It's essentially not. It's just not good enough, man. It's just not good enough. And you can drink as much positive Kool-Aid that this club can pin out and ignore all the problems. The issues have snowballed and it's come to a head. And if the Cronkies didn't care about anything to do with yesterday or where we are at this moment in time, they definitely have to care, because there's no but like there were people were leaving early. You know, once there's not bums on seats, this is where these lot try and react. It's far too predictable. It's far too predictable. We never go off script. We seem resigned to defeat. In times of adversity, very few of these players stand up to be counted. Martin Odegaard got a lot of time for you, but you're hiding. You're hiding when we need our captain. You're hiding. I'm not saying win the game by yourself, you know, but you're hiding. We're in that stage. If Ethan 1 year he isn't doing it, a 17-year-old, we're in trouble. What's going on? What is going on? I don't. People are telling me when we come back from Dubai, when we do this, when we do that, it's all copium and hopium. Like, it's absolute nonsense, man. It's foolishness. It's nonsense. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough from everyone. And for me, it's the same old, same old. It's the same old hurdles that we are struggling at. It's even down to the point of the same old teams, if I'm honest with you. Across the last 2 seasons, you've effed up twice at home against West Ham, against Villa, against Newcastle. It's going on and 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 on. And yes, we can hide behind prior to that. No loss in 15 games. But it's on brand. We know statistically we're one of the top goal scorers in the league. When the pressure is really and truly on and it's sink or swim for this football club, we crumble. We seem resigned to defeat. We crumbled at Newcastle in the cup, crumbled yesterday, crumbled half the time. But we'll pack some couple teams, we'll pack some couple teams 3-4-0 in patches. Our form will be decent. But when it's sink or swim, kill or die, the players are not performing like this is last chance saloon. The manager is not behaving like it's last chance saloon. The less said about the ownership of this football club, the better. If they want to be good, they don't want to be great. They don't. This team is not dying to win collectively as a club. So we signed up for this. And where you look at it, it's the second season in a row. You're taking it for different circumstances. A central midfielder is becoming our striker. It's too much romance behind these things. It's not making no sense. All of the issues have come to an head because of the circumstances. We didn't find ourselves in this position overnight. Even Martin Odegaard, you can do the captain's notes as much as you want. I need to see you stand up to be counted. And you lot are resigned to defeat. You never make it difficult. As I said, credit to West Ham. They were street smart. They got the goal. I actually feel they had the better chances than us. We're having 20 shots and 2 on target. And really and truly, you break down the quality of the chances. What really and truly are there? Really, really and truly, what is there? It's not making no sense, man. And I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, man, because you lot have cheated yourselves. Like, you've got gorgeous musicians coming to watch us, and nobody's trying to score from 40 yards. These lot are a joke, man. I can't lie to you. It's ridiculous. It's lost for words, man, and mentally checked out in that regards, man. If I wasn't mentally checked out already, but it is what it is, man. Shout yourself, Hyper. I'm not big mad at one game. It's reactionary to be mad at the team after that match. That house was built on the sand for the last 2 transfer windows. I back the team, but not the boardroom failure. I hear it, Charlie, man. It's jarring, man. It's jarring. And for me, the only thing beyond the obvious I'm upset about is if you lose, you hold your hands up and say, you know what, we go again. Made it too easy, man. I'm there, Riley, man. I got football in a bit, so I thought, let me go live quickly. I feel more losses are incoming against the likes of Everton, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. We might get past Ipswich and Southampton because they have weaker squads. They need to do something different. Once the pressure's off, these lot start playing football. Pressure's a privilege. Unfortunately, there's very few players in that team that are really on what we need them to be on. Respectfully to them, there's a lot of purple patch players. There's a lot of fair weather players. There's a lot of players, and I'm not even saying they don't want it. I do think they want to win, but they ain't got it. Anytime our backs are against the wall, we crumble. Unfortunately, these men do crumble. It is that. It's the reality of the situation. So people can sit there and be mathematicians, and if Liverpool do this and Liverpool do that, it's dead. You need to take advantage of what you need to do. And I know Arteta ran out of ideas. When have you seen Zinchenko come on in some capacity in midfield? When have you seen that? When have you seen him take off Declan Rice early? So I know he panicked yesterday. For me, maybe I'm naive. I ain't got the coaching badges that Mikel Arteta's got and all of those things. Maybe I am incredibly naive. And I know it's simple for me to say, people. But again, if we remove all of these Arsenal players, we know they're playing a 3-5-2. We know it's cash money. West Ham said, you know what, fucking break us down. Come break us down. Come break us down. Come and break us down. Come and break us down. And we failed to do that. We know Trossard's going to hold the width. Ethan's going to be there. Moreno's up front. Bearing in mind, they're doing the back 5 thing. So the crossing thing is not gonna happen. Moreno's dead from a footballing sense, dead from that. Martin Odegaard, let's slap you in there. Calafiori, let's get you further forward. Declan Rice, let's put you in there. Let's actually start breaking this nonsense down, man. Like, for me, again, it's easy for me to sit here and say this. Maybe I'm naive, but this is a compact unit. How do you break a team shape? It's not going to be, Moreno and where Wanyeri, little short 5-yard passes. This ain't going to do it. This is not going to do it. You either have these players rotating in the pockets and hoping somebody follows someone or does something like that. You either play in the little pockets, or at some point you've got to get some real width in the team, man. You've got to stretch the team. You've got to stretch them. You've got to make sure they know whether to stick or twist. You've got to do that. Then you have the late runners. Then you're asking questions of Kudus and Bowen to go backwards and whatnot. We're not breaking them down. We're playing right into the hands. It's side to side. You can't go forward, go back. And I'm not saying go gun ho from the very start of a football game, but I'm finding it's quite frustrating that Mikel Arteta still has not found an idea for a solution, better yet, for this. Everybody knows it's cash money against us. And again, for another reason, I don't understand it. Because we work on low blocks is our bread and butter. We stink out places. So we should know the chinks in the armor. Smash the like button. It's boring now, man. Wanyeri was crap yesterday. If he's good enough to get praised, then he can hold corner as well. I mean, Wanyeri can hold corner, but at the end of the day, the young G's are the ones doing what they need to do for us 9 times out of 10. We're getting into that crazy scenario where, once again, if they don't do it, it is what it is. I'm not here. I'm never gonna they can have criticism, but I'm not gonna be gassing up Ethan 1 week and turn on him. And we're not gonna do that foolishness. The man's been in the first team 2 minutes, like Lewis Skelly, who I didn't see his red card. He's been in the team 2 minutes. I'm seeing a former West Ham captain. I'm seeing Martin Odegaard, who's been at Real Madrid and is our fucking captain. I'm seeing people that have played for Atletico Madrid. I'm seeing international footballers out there. We're not asking no questions of Ethan. I'm asking of the more senior players, because Ethan's held these players' hands for the majority of the season in the last period. He's taken his club on its shoulders. Where is my captain? Seriously, and it's not all about Odegaard. Where is the captain? I'm not seeing it. And I'm watching the game again. If I'm completely honest, Martin Odegaard, you're running into areas you're not going to get the ball. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And yeah, you're right with the red card, man. But we were crap even with that, man. And boy, it is what it is, man. I'm not saying the result would have been different, but I think it would have been better if Merino came on, as it impacts how Ben White looked with the overlap. Even that, when you deep it, Ben White's little effort towards the end of the game, that was probably the only time I felt like we'd score. I know Calafiori hit the target. That's about it. Football's decided in both ends. If you switch off in the 44th minute before the end of the first half and you offer nothing for the best part of an hour, you're not going to win a game of football. Calafiori, what are you doing? I'm not going to turn on Calafiori, but stop the flipping cross. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's crunch time. Players are not picking up Bowen. Forget the goal. I promise you, go watch the game again. Just before Bowen actually scored, there's an opportunity where it's almost identical. People are not picking up runners. People are not following their man. What's going on? I think it's time to strip Odegaard of the captaincy. I mean, that's not going to help us mid-season. But yeah, man, even the Merino juice, I'm not saying you lot, but do you know how naive you got to be if you think Mikel Merino is going to go on some purple patch up front? It won't surprise me now, with it looking ever and ever unlikely of Arsenal winning the league. These lot will play out of their skin. Too many fair weather players. And people don't want to be honest until it gets to this. Arteta has one more season. If he doesn't pull out the stops this summer and get the attackers he needs, he'll be gone by 2026. It is what it is, man. I'm past all of that. These lot can do what they want, man. They don't care. I don't care. It doesn't mean enough. It doesn't mean enough to the manager. It doesn't mean enough to the owner. It doesn't mean enough to these players. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean enough, because I don't see these things. We're talking about the same things week in, week out. It's boring now, man. Like it proper is boring. It doesn't mean enough. It doesn't. Yeah, you can say, oh, but we've got 1 loss in 15. Bro, when we need to really score goals, our backs are against the wall. Every Arsenal fan who disagrees is a fucking liar. When our backs are against the wall, we struggle. We crumble. We're resigned to defeat. Our manager is going to die on his sword and not try anything. Players are going to pass the buck and pass responsibility. Evidently, there's limitations, and you sign up for these scenarios when you don't look after the depth, when you don't add on to the quality. It goes back to the summer, missing the trick. It's the illusion of progression. It's fully regression at this moment in time. You failed to prepare. You prepared to fail. Like, you lot that sit here and tell me about you know what? You lot are right, because I always hear things. I mean, we must have brought in some players. I hear keeping the powder dry for the summer. I hear market opportunity. Can you, as I said in Jan, can you bring these lot on the pitch when it goes left? It's excuses. You can look at this with our injuries and all of this. You can look at this as romantic as you want, and as heroic as you want. Facts are facts. There's no time for romance in football. It's another missed season at the opportunity of silverware. What the hell is going on, man? They don't care. I don't care, man. Nah, what's the point? They don't. But I'm not. In fact, let me not even say that. They do care. You just don't care to the level I need you to care. You haven't got it in you. It's unfortunate, but it's the sad reality of the situation. So there's no point getting vexed about it. You know, it fully is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like it is what it is, man. Like it is what it is. I mean, not that I care about Opta stats or whatnot, but for what it's worth, people, our title chances have fallen from 15.2% to 7.4. I mean, big up you lot. The 1-0 loss versus West Ham was the first time Arsenal lost a Premier League game at the Emirates in 314 days. Graham Potter has won 4 of his 5 games away at Arsenal, with only Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp having one more at the Emirates. Again, man, shooting ourselves in the foot, FC, man. Look at the babes that are coming to watch us, and you're performing like that. And this is why you lot can do as much mathematician stuff as you want about Liverpool. The very minimum you need to do is take your points. We failed to do that. Liverpool haven't even kicked a ball and they're already winning. And they're going to go and batter City, if I'm honest with you. You can talk about possession and all this crap. Again, all of these things are, we signed up for this in the summer, bro. You ain't got a striker. You can lie and say we scored 90 odd goals and divide this. We need difference makers. It's a fallacy if you think we have enough to really challenge. We've not, the little quality we have not built on it. And there's a lot of unanswered questions. I'm not going to have no optimism for the summer. It's seeing is believing. You can talk and talk and talk, but we all know we need a forward. We all know we need a forward. You lot always want to sit here and tell me I'm being negative when I say we need a forward and I'm exaggerating the need for us scoring goals. We got 90 or that, blah, blah, blah. That's all true. How many of the collective team goals are clustered in those results when we're scoring 3, 4, 5? How many people are not? How many people are doing it for the duration of a season? Who don't hear must feel. Arteta on team selection, I would do the same thing. I'd play the same players, but when you lose, you get it wrong. The tactics, the intentions, everything. That's what I felt. I have to do what I felt. That's true, but it feels like any competent managers, especially the tactician dons, they've got something against you. Eddie Howe's got your number. Emery seems to have your number. Graham Potter's put one over you now. Fair enough, you've duppy Pep Guardiola and you've competed against the top 6, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough from everybody. I don't care about at this moment in time what Arsenal are good at. The evident areas of failures need to be improved. It's all about fine margins. It doesn't matter if you've, in the last 3 years, you've done the chasing thing, you've led the Premier League, you've been a good defensive side, you've been a good attacking side. There's a lot of explaining. I do not care about the injuries and all of that kind of stuff. Everybody gets that. It is what it is. Even without, yes, we've been dealt a harsh hand by the footballing gods with injuries, but did we put our best foot forward? Did we put our best foot forward? No, we didn't, because we did not equip this squad in the way it's needed. You've known you've needed backup / competition for Saka, let alone a left winger. You've known you need a striker. You know you've ran Benjamin White, Bukayo Saka, etc. into the ground. We know we've got a tiny squad trying to compete on 4 fronts. And anytime it's crunch time, these boys crumble. In May, yeah, you're probably going to finish second. You got to a semi-finals against Newcastle. People might just say the United game in the FA Cup, it is what it is. If, and a very big if, you get past PSV and you play Real Madrid in the semi-finals, in May, save face. It's going to be the illusion of another season and we go again and all of this kind of crap. Seeing is believing. You lot, and the worst thing is you lot actually have a good base. You lot, as much as it hurts me as an Arsenal fan, you lot are players, you know. Because by God's grace, by the time I'm 29, turning 30, by God's grace, I see my team win another league. You're not going to be a manager here forever. These players are not going to be players forever. And some of you are going to leave this football club and go on and win stuff. Some of you haven't got a fucking chance of winning anything. And it's you lot that, again, a 3rd year in a row, after all those moments of adversity and all the good and the bad, it's you lot that's going to have to sit there and you know, and fester in that disappointment. If nothing changes, nothing changes. We have to look in the mirror at ourselves of what we can do better and the willingness and desire and the way we run and the way we want it. We have to suffer for 24 to 48 hours, feel the pain and make sure we come back Monday with a bite and anger still there. There's all, and again, you're not wrong, Arteta, but this should have been said in the transfer market. This should have been said a long time ago. And it's always, this is one thing that annoys me. There's always this talk around tomorrow. Like there's always tomorrow. Yes, there is. And I like that. But come on. What's going on? Our next 6 fixtures, we've got Nottingham Forest away, we've got PSV away, you've got United away, which, to be fair, based on the Arsenal fans clearing out the Emirates, could be a bonus. And then you've got PSV, Chelsea, and Fulham at home. Every game must win and all of that kind of jazz, people. We've had 5 red cards this season. I I'm talking about the standards of the players and the team that played, me included, that was nowhere near the level needed to win the Premier League. You're not winning the Premier League anyways, but you're right. Hot take, people. I think Martin Keown's angling to be involved in the club in a full-time capacity. I only say that because he clearly, well, what was it? When we had the Champions League group, he was draw. He was there. Oh, sorry, the draw for the knockouts, and now he's pictured here. Hot take. He's angling to be involved in the club. Odegaard has said it's no time to feel sorry for ourselves. We have to keep going. There are still many games to be played, and we have to keep going. The main thing now is to win the next one and work from there. I mean, you've got to win, but Odegaard, you don't know me. I love Martin Odegaard, but you're soft, man. You're soft. Big February, where the minimum you can do is to win, to try and win a Premier League trophy, is to not have performances like that. And the managers come out, and the managers included in this, and said Arsenal's performance was below the mark needed to win the title. You can be very angry. We can be disappointed. I don't even want to hear it. I can't lie to you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Even this sort of stuff. Very disappointed. Obviously, very angry as well. I think we have to congratulate West Ham for the victory and the game they played. But I think a lot on our side, we never got it right. It didn't allow us to get enough momentum, enough sequence of play with positive action that could deliver into situations of threat for their... What? And even though the ball we had, then 20 shots, I never felt that we were at the standards or the levels we needed to have more threat and don't allow them to run. We lost a lot of balls and weren't allowed, and we allowed West Ham to run into very dangerous positions. Off the ball, they were better than us. On the ball, they were better than us. Their game management, they boxed smart. They started the game, low blocks, counter attack. They got the goal just before halftime as well, which probably ruined the halftime team talk. Doesn't make sense. Ethan, apparently that the sub was down to fatigue. We all know we lack issues in our front line. I'll be real. I just don't care what anyone's got to say. We know we weren't at the levels. People, I don't care today. I really don't give a monkeys about what everybody said, man. Yo, DG, let's be real. It is what it is. Real Madrid don't win every year the league. We're not Real Madrid, bro. And cool, we don't win. You don't win it every year. But when last did we win the league? When are we going to win it? When are we going to win silverware? People want to sit here and say we're this big bad bullies, and I do think we're a good team. But to be a trophy winner, you need to get over the line in those high pressure moments. Respectfully to Arteta, the track record's there. How many times have you been dumped out of competitions? How many times has the Premier League race ended prematurely? And it's not all him. I'm talking Arteta, the players, the damn club. Dead. People want to sit here and say, oh, when City fall off, Arsenal are going to be there. Okay. Same people that were slagging off Liverpool saying they got depth, their manager just come in, blah, 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 blah. They're not on nothing. Tunes changed now. It's flipped to, it's gone from there's a massive rebuild to Onslaught didn't have much to do. There's a lot of it. Winners win and losers explain. This club is at the stage now. It's about crossing over the line. They don't want to do it. And I actually, if I feel sorry for anyone, I feel sorry for the players. I don't really feel sorry for Mikel Arteta in that regards, especially around injuries. I don't feel sorry for anyone connected to the club with injuries. We've been knowing what could happen. It's dead now, man. Look at Aston Villa. Their January signings were goal scorers yesterday. Arsenal need to freshen up the lineup with reinforcements for summer window and next season again. I'm not going to do the optimism thing. Now, if they go and address these areas and I see confirmation people are signed, that's a very different conversation to have. But we know what's going to happen. The merch is going to come out, keeping the powder dry. Zubamendi, Sesko, Isaac, this one, that one. Tired, man. Why ain't we recalled Fabio Vieira? Like, honestly, we're suffering from injuries and a lack of ideas. Why didn't we bring him back? He needs to open his head and change the formation based on our situation. I can imagine if Amarin had this team, he'd make it work because he loves five at the back. Man, I don't care about Scammerwin, man. It would have been more acceptable if this was 3-4 years, but in 5 years, fam, and not a single period. And that's what I mean, man. There's just certain things. You're bang on the money. There's just certain things that we shouldn't be speaking about. We shouldn't be talking about strikers. We shouldn't be talking about depth. Shouldn't be talking about game changers. You go back to the start of this quote-unquote project. We're still relaxing. When Saka was a kid, we was relying on him. We're relying on kids again. Like last season, you got someone that's not a striker leading the line. It's an idiot thing what we're doing. Like, it doesn't make sense. And my biggest question mark with Arteta is just how I felt against Newcastle. Again, you're a good planner and all of that. But once something has gone left or in game, there needs to be some change. You just die on your sword. You revert the type. High pressure moments, the team crumble. We always talk about fine margins and all of that. When are we going to be on the right side of it? Weren't yesterday. Weren't against Aston Villa the last 2 years in a row. Weren't how many times? And yeah, we've only lost 3 times this season, but you look at just the defeats. The draws are another thing, and we've been speaking about that. The draws are one thing. The defeats, it's not a Spartan thing. It's not like, and take nothing away from West Ham, Bournemouth, and Newcastle. They handle business. My beef isn't with them. The toughest pill to swallow is that West Ham didn't have to be that good to beat us, but they had better chances. They were street smart. Their manager won the tactical battle. They're not in the best of form as well. They kept it moving. Think about what I just said there. And I do think there's an element of us running out of steam. I do think there's an element. Fatigue is not an excuse. But the players that have been fit, they're running to the ground. Can we really be surprised that it wasn't pretty football? Leicester, it wasn't amazing. Yeah, you nicked it. The Moreno nickings and whatnot. Arteta clearly thought, you know what? I could do a thing here. Even when you're deep in, what the fuck are we doing? We're playing a centre mid up front again, trying to win a league title. It sounds romantic, and you can drink the Kool-Aid and the PR and act like Arsenal, the world is against Arsenal, and it's so romantic how we've had injuries and red cards and everyone's against us, and if we can win a title, you can do that romantic stuff. I'm not on that. We're bringing blunt knives to a gunfight. We're already making the impossible / improbable extremely more difficult with self-inflicted issues. It is Arteta, man. You crumble, the players crumble. Even that last couple of games, give or take, when the key players like Ethan, for example, or the defenders, or people that have been a lot more consistent than their teammates, when they're not on nothing, we're in trouble. Odegaard, I need to see better. I'm not gonna lie, I keep mentioning this guy's name. Of course, he's not by himself, but what's going on? What's going on? Because if Odegaard, you know, I mentioned that because I like Odegaard as a player. You don't know this. Odegaard is a fantastic footballer. But you see, if that wasn't a player with the guile and the drive and the technical ability and all of that, I'd be saying, what's he on the pitch for? It's all gear, no idea. If Odegaard is not influencing the game, why is he there? Because of how he presses. Being purely devil's advocate, we all know the system's intelligent and that. But anyone could do the pressing thing. There's no swagger required. Just need some intelligence. What's going on the God? You're hiding. And you're not alone. The whole team's hiding. The manager's hiding. The owner's hiding. Everyone's hiding. Nobody wants to really do this thing. You'd like to win. You're not dying to win. With such a small squad, how the hell could Arteta not sell a pathway to Heaven and Obi Martin? I hear it, but fuck them, man. If they wanted to cut, man. And Arteta's got more than one more season, man. Anyways, he signed a 3-year deal. It is what it is, man. Like these lot don't care as much as I care. So what's the point, man? We just support the team. When we win, I'm happy. When we lose, it is what it is. I know you lot don't want to win trophies. I know you don't. You can tell. I do think the players would like to, but you're not dying. You don't want to achieve success more than you want to be alive. I don't think it keeps you as a club. I don't think it keeps you up at night. Because we're seeing the same things play out. None of the issues that have come to harm us at various points or at this current climate this season are anything new. Depth was not a new question. Backup for Saka on the left and the right was not new. A striker was not new. Overall bodies in the squad was not new. We know we can thump up teams, do well against the top 6, go on great runs, compete. We see getting over the line, nothing's changed. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Bringing on Raheem Sterling like that's going to do anything after like 8 minutes. Arteta needs to go back to the drawing board, but they don't care. All it takes is a couple wins on the spin, and we're back. Never-ending project, man. Emery has the right idea, man. Front-loaded his team with bare firepower. Even played all of them against Liverpool and called their bluff. All this slow football from the back has been trash. It's boring, man. It's boring, man. Watching the game, let's be honest, the team's conservative like the gaffer. Watching the games nowadays, I keep asking why all these men like to hold on to the ball and take multiple touches, no 1-2s. There's no invention, there's no intention, there's no healthy randomness. And that, as much as I do think, especially in the modern day, it's got to be systemic, it's got to be structured, it's got to be all of that stuff. There needs to be that healthy randomness, especially when you're playing very well coached sides, like Graham Potter's side, for example. They're a good coach side. And again, if you want to win the league, you need to be. The reality is, credit to West Ham, but you need to be putting them in the spliff. You need to be getting the job done against Leicester, which you did, but it's a fallacy. We have not put our best foot forward on any front. I don't know about you lot. I'll be more than happy to make videos, but they can tell me about war chest, powder dry, this one, that one, Zubamendi, Sesko, this, that, the third. If I see the number, the depth improved, if I see players, positions addressed, these are very different conversations to have. But right now, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Big up the Kenyans, man. Not signing a striker, not Kevin. I'll be real. It goes back to January. Like I mean, goes back to the summer. I'm still not over the summer. It goes back to January, which you're bang on the money, man. Like the summer. January was the last chance saloon. And that's why I've got no sympathy for either Mikel Arteta or the board. Anyone's going to say what's going to fit your narrative. If you think Mikel Arteta is the prodigal son and the Messiah, you're going to sit here and say they've short-handed him. Bearing in mind, we don't know anything. They could have. I'm past that. All of you are in it. Either way, all of you have signed up for this squad is good enough to cope with injuries and make it happen. It is what it is, man. But let's be honest, Odegaard, I love Odegaard. He's a fair weather player, bro. Fair weather player. I hope he's not going through any off the field issues, but there's too much, man. There's too much fair. The squad's got too many fair weather players. There are too many fair weather players. There's very few players in that side that can do it for the majority of the season. And the majority of them are defenders, give or take. No one's been perfect, but give or take, we're probably more happy with our defensive performances. The only positive yesterday, David Raya moving mad. Like, I don't even know what goes through his mind, but that's it. That's it. Kai Havertz is one of the most consistent players in this team. That should make some of these players feel sick. Who don't hear must feel, man. It is what it is. I just don't care anymore, man. Love the club, but what is there to say? There's nothing to say, man. But this was going to be a short show anyways, man. I got to go and get ready for football, man. I'm going to be back at 4:20, 10 minutes before kickoff. We're going to watch Liverpool versus Man City. I mean, if there's any other developing Arsenal news, I'll go live. I just wanted to get a quick video out there and just whatever, man. Yeah, I got 5 aside, man. You lot stay safe, stay blessed. Happy Sunday. Smash the like button if you haven't already.
Like